Okay.
Good.
I, Ramaswamy Mohan, acknowledge that this is for your class project and I give my permission to be recorded. I also will not use the real names of anybody I talk about. Thank you.
We already asked you some questions. I'm not sure. Start over. Okay. So, what year was this establishment put together?
The temple was opened to public in 1977. It was incorporated in 1970. It took 7 years to build.
Okay.
But the original building was, there was a Greek and Russian Orthodox church.
Okay.
So we took that and then demolished and installed the Hindu temple. At a very small scale, in a small plot of land. At that time, we didn't even have Hindus to sign the deed. There are citizens, because you had to be citizens to acquire property at that time, real land, and at least for religious corporations. So some Christians and Jewish people signed the deed as if they are the Hindus and became temporary agents of Hindus.
Huh. So have you been here since 70?
I've been here since 1975.
Wow, okay.
After,
as it was being
before the temple was
built,
but after, while it was being constructed.
Okay, wow.
So I've been, me and my family have been visiting here since 1977.
Okay, so you came here around when you were 20, right?
Yeah.
So how was it culturally? When you got here, you probably had preconceptions of what America would be like. So did it live up to what you thought, or did you find out it was
because
different?
some of my older brothers were here already, so I've heard from them what life was about, what life was like in this country. So it was not a total surprise. Plus, we were raised in the medium of instruction was in English all along throughout our lives. So we always read English magazines and papers and very little of Indian languages. So we were quite conversant, quite familiar with what America was about. So was there surprise? Yes, definitely there were surprises, but it wasn't like total surprise.
Okay. So, and you said before that the main language of the prayers here is Sanskrit?
The main language is in Sanskrit. However, there are devotional songs in Tamil, in other Indian languages such as Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Hindi.
And is that only for specific celebrations, like during specific?
No, the devotees are allowed to sing during certain stages of the prayer. When the idols are being decorated, the screen will be put so that we don't see the idols being. We don't call them idols; we call them deities being decorated. At the time, the devotees sing songs in the language of their choice. You could sing in any language they want, but it's Hindi, Tamil, Marathi also, some Gujarati, and then mostly Tamil, Kannada, and Telugu.
So is the major demographics around here South Indian?
South Indian.
Okay, I have a question. What is the difference between an idol and a deity?
Same. Idol sounds disrespectful.
Okay.
Like American Idol, for example.
Okay.
So deity is you are actually deifying a concept, a value. A value system. We believe every deity conveys a value,
And
power, strength, and energy.
and how many deities are there?
In excess of 2 dozen.
Wow. How do you keep track of all those?
The actual number of. In order for you to understand this religion better, I have to give you a quick introduction. Otherwise, because you're talking more about culture, I'm going to give you a quick basics of the religion, a little bit of the history, and then how it's practiced, which will impact the culture.
Okay.
So, first of all, India was ruled 800 years by Muslims between 1000 AD and 1800 AD. And then the British came and kicked out the Muslims. And they started as a colony for 200 years. So the Hindu history of the country was systematically misinterpreted. And so this is all fact. We don't carry any grudge. That's the way it is. So the British, using the English language, really did a number on the religion. And they had to speak scholars quote-unquote moral who did not believe in Islam, Sanskrit, but not decided to interpret our religion and write it in English, and said some things that are not entirely true. The religion really dates back somewhere around 8,000, at least 8,000 years ago, if not more. The artifacts that have been found in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro areas in India support the fact that it was there for a very long time. And a civilization, a very well advanced civilization that had drainage system, water supply system, etc., lived on the Indus Valley. So what the British said, the Aryans from the Middle East came and gave us Hinduism. They came and they saw there was already a bunch of people practicing Hinduism. So it's a major change. They also said, they also wrote certain things, but bottom line, Hinduism has the following are the main concepts. There is one God called Brahman who manifests in many forms. But in high schools and colleges here, they say Hinduism has many gods, which is untrue. It is many forms of the same God Brahman.
Okay.
So there are actually 330 million forms of the Lord that have been mentioned in the scriptures. Our primary scriptures are the Vedas, and the end of the Vedas are the Upanishads, which is the philosophy.
So you're saying that Hinduism is the first religion that had a single God worship? Okay.
Yes, one God without any form. The God, Brahman did not have any form. So the ancient sages in the deep meditation came up with the forms of the Lord that appeared to them in their deep state of meditation. And the Vedas were given by the Lord himself to the sages who passed it on by word of mouth over generations. Okay? So this is how the religion was established. There's no founder. There is no single founder. There is no founder. There is no dogmatic interpretation of the religion. It is more of a religion. It is more of a what do you call it? A living value called dharma. We call it dharma. Dharma means righteousness, moral order. For example, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west is dharma. That's the moral order.
Okay.
Human beings should speak the truth, do nice things is dharma. Adharma happens among humans. Luckily, so far, the sun didn't rise in the west and set in the east. But that they maintain, the nature maintains its dharma. The scientific laws are all dharma. Dharma means the righteous moral order. So, Hinduism says there's one God, Brahman. Hinduism says that the whole creation, preservation, and dissolution is an endless cycle. So the Lord manifests, so you see it, the universe, and then it withdraws and goes inside. There's no more universe, then starts all over again and goes back over millions and millions of years. So it's a creation, preservation, and dissolution.
I have another question. Earlier, me and my colleague was speaking, and I mentioned discovery of ancient cities off the coast of India, and that before Western scholars said that Hinduism may went back 4,000 or 5,000 years, and while scholars in India said that it went back further, 8, 9, maybe even 12,000 years ago, and that this discovery of the cities off the coast of India proved that the Indian scholars was correct.
Correct, yeah.
Because the only way for these cities to be built had to be during the Ice Age, when the sea levels was low enough for them to be built.
Yeah, right. The problem about Indian, they don't care what anybody else thinks. They go do their thing. You believe it, don't believe it.
That's Hinduism.
They don't really worry about, I want to prove to you that
What's inside me?
not only, yeah. So the principles of Hinduism says that God doesn't punish people by their own actions, create karma, and then you're born again and again until you resolve all your good and bad karma, and then you merge with the divine. So it's like just everything is a cycle. The universe is a cycle. The human life, the soul within us never dies. It assumes new bodies, does new actions, creates new good and bad things, and ultimately all souls attain salvation.
have a question. Do you think, since Hinduism is older than Christianity, that Christianity got some of their ideas from
The
Hinduism?
Old Testament, yes. Not the, because the popes got all upset. You know about that from old, they said, no more idol worship, no more. So the New Testament was born, and yes, actually Hinduism, Mayan civilization, American India, they all worship nature.
Yeah.
Once upon, all of them were nature worshippers, got codified as Hinduism. It is a surprise that the Hinduism survived, in spite of the onslaught by the Muslims and British, because the Mayan civilization is close to dying, and American Indian traditions are...
Because they were okay.
They were all, yeah, they were all. So, it's a real surprise that there are still 1.1 billion Hindus throughout the world, most of them in India.
Because myself, I'm part Native American, and I know nothing about my Native American heritage. And all the elders in my family, when I asked them about it, they never learned anything from their parents. So, yeah, y'all are very lucky to actually be able to keep your traditions alive.
Thanks to the sages who wrote down some of all the... Okay, what they have done, the sages have said that our biggest impediment for our spiritual growth is our mind. So in order for us to steady our mind, we have good... Meditation is a source, but meditation is not easy. The moment I close my eyes, start to meditate, different thoughts come to my head. Right? So they said rituals, just like a baseball player will practice catching and throwing for hours and hours just for the single hit, single catch, single fielding. You have to do hours and hours and hours of ritual for a glimpse, small glimpse of spirituality inside you. So rituals are a significant part, but they're not the end, they're a means to the end. The end is really unifying yourselves with the divine. Yoga means unification of the mind, body, and spirit with the divine. So yoga means union. So the Hinduism also comes out and says that there are many paths to salvation. No one religion can claim it's my way and the only way, which is a very liberal way of thinking. But the ritual and the creation was personified by the deity of Brahma. The preservation aspect of creation, of the cycle, was personified by Vishnu, and the dissolution was personified by Shiva. So the three deities, the Trinity, underneath them are multitudes of deities. And we all believe that God does not have any form, but it has more. It is a combination of male and female energy. So Brahma's female consort energy is Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Vishnu, the preserver, needs wealth. The goddess Lakshmi is his consort. And Shiva is the destroyer, and his consort is Shakti or Durga, Kali, power. So the female aspect and the male aspect combined are needed to get anything done. For creation, Brahma, he needs brains and knowledge, so Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. Go ahead.
Okay, you said about the male and female aspect. I think Shiva the Destroyer, I've seen that deity as a male and a female before, right?
Yeah, that's why. It's actually, he does not have a form. I mean, Brahman does not have a form, but Shiva is specifically shown as male and a female, half male, half female. This side is male, and this side is female. Okay. That's how it. So there is also a deity called Durga Shakti, who is female goddess. Some people believe she is the first one, first of all the powers. Power means energy. So the sects, the major sects are Shiva, the state of Shiva. One of the major sects to Vishnu. Another major sect prays to Vishnu, and the third major sect prays to Shakti or Durga, the goddess. So there are three major sects. And a fourth sect was formed that said that you can pray to any of these deities. No competition there. So that's the Smarta sect. Underneath these three major deities, or 3 times 2, 6 major deities, is 330 billion different forms. Each envisioned by a particular sage or a saint in the meditation. They saw the form. The way religion is practiced, let me go see what's going on here. Religion is practiced by the family unit. So out of all these multitudes of deities, each and every one has got a favorite Ishta-devata itself. Ishta is in Bengali, Ishta very famous. So, Ishta-devata means your favorite deity, which is usually, for the most part, dictated by what the family prays to. Some families have Kali, some families have Durga, some have Shiva, some have Vishnu, some have Krishna, who is a form of, come on in. Ishta-devata, so everybody gets their own favorite deity, right? Gets to get their own favorite deity. But sometimes you buck the family tradition and pick up your own deity because you have your own, shall we say, motivations and sudden realization, if you know what I mean. That is because my son is obviously younger than me, but his soul may be older than me. He may have had more births than I did. So he may be more evolved than I am.
In my own family, we have a saying that usually when a child acts a little bit mature for their age, we say that they have an old soul, that they've been here before, that they must have been reincarnated.
Yeah. So reincarnation is the fundamental tool for the soul to perfect itself to attain the divine, you know. So Buddha got all upset. Lord Buddha was born a Hindu, but he has a prince. But then again, he got very disillusioned with the way the Hindus were fighting due to rituals. So he took Hinduism minus rituals and deities is really Buddhism. He took that part out and said the ritual is substituted for the most part by meditation, by severe body and mind work that you do, physical labor as well as hardships that you put your body through. That is like a penance for Buddhism. There's another religion that came, Sikhism came out of Hinduism, and Jainism came. But anyway, so these are the fundamental principles. So Hinduism is, so therefore, the practice of the religion at the family level, where everybody gets together. I for example, I'm typical, actually a lot more religious. I'm not as religious as my dad was, or certainly not my grandfather was. Wake up in the morning, I do certain religion, of course, we pray facing the east, the sun, and then sun being, without the sun, there's nothing that exists in the world, right? The planetary system. So we are not praying to the sun, but we are praying to the energy that the sun offers that makes the life go. You know? Anyway, so I do the prayers. My wife and I have joint response. She has certain things to do. I have certain things to do. Then the children grew up watching the parents, and they also adopted, minus because every generation does less of the rituals than the previous generation, because they have less time, more work to do, more studying to do, more playing to do, etc., etc. So, religion, the aspects of religion are baked into daily life. For example, technically I shouldn't be shaking hands with you, I should say namaste. Namaste means I bow to the divinity in you, because each and every one of us has got a spark of divinity, according to our religion. So I bow to the divinity in you. So these practices, this culture of respect, that you have to show respect, not only to the human being, the deities are also looking half human, half beast, half bird. For example, where you have attached a vehicle to each deity. The vehicle is usually an animal or a bird. Why? If God is everywhere, as a matter of fact, we say creation came out of the Creator. So if creation is not separate from the Creator, how can everything is God? If something came out of me, that's also me, right? So everything is God. So we say it's not just one God, but really everything is only God. Everything is so, we are big environment. We are probably the first of us tree huggers in the world. So motion, everywhere. Everything we cherish and pray, etc., etc. So, it's a culture of respect. I'm not saying everybody is doing that today. I'm just saying that's not what is expected of a Hindu. Respect is the foundation. And so therefore, our children are raised to call anybody other than their dad or mom as uncle and aunt. Correct? Uncle and aunt. Everybody is uncle or an aunt. Everybody, because you're supposed to, they're older to you, they respect. Everybody's cousins are called brothers. Cousin, we actually say cousin brother, cousin sister. So they are like treated like brothers and sisters. Everybody has got a, you're all connected. So respect is the cornerstone of the religion. So that is heavy into the culture. Music, particularly in South India, I know a little less about North India, North Indian music, but 100% of the classical music is about the divine. 100%. Classical music. 100% of the dance is about divine. Is about the divine. About Krishna, Lord Krishna's life, for example. Millions of songs about Lord Krishna's life, Lord Rama's life. Lord Krishna and Lord Rama are incarnations of Vishnu. So we believe we have 9 incarnations so far, which correlates to the way first as fish, then half land-based and sea-based animals, and then half human and half and beast, and then human form. So all these avatars or incarnations that Lord Vishnu did coincides with the evolution theory. Avatars can coincide with the evolution theory. So very practical religion, and you can interpret and follow it the way. There's nothing that you have to do, which gives you a lot of different ways to practice your religion, which also gives you a chance to be an atheist if you want. If somebody becomes an atheist, somebody is not a good person, that's part of their karma. They are creating their own karma, but they are born with the baggage of the previous lives' karma. A portion of good and bad you're born with every birth.
I have a question. Through meditation in Hinduism, are you able to see aspects of your past life?
No, we have known of, there are instances of people who have known aspects of past life, just like Christians have done it too, and all religions. People of all faiths have glimpses of their past life. But no, answer is no. But there is a glimpse of the divinity. If you really meditate, practice.
Have you reached that point?
Huh?
Have you reached that point?
There's no such thing, because you reach that point and then you retract. Because as soon as I open my mouth, I see a pretty girl, I see this, I see a beautiful car. It's gone. It's all gone. You start all over again, right? Except you probably start at a higher level. So I see a pretty girl when I'm an old man now, but when I was younger, so I had the same reaction you do, etc. So now I'm an old man, I don't admit to it. So yes, but you do get a glimpse of the divine in the form of sheer happiness, undescribable happiness that you get for a fraction of a second. Whoa! That's after years of practice. And some of the sages have gotten it again and again and again and again. People like me, if I get it twice or thrice in my lifetime, I'm lucky. Okay, so practice, religion has to be incorporated in your day-to-day, not like every Sunday or every Friday, just be every waking moment. That's why saying namaste, putting this dot in here, for example, particularly for women, if they put a dot in here, they're saying, don't look at me like I'm a piece of meat. I have divinity inside me, and this is my third eye. So that indicates a particular sort of a catalyst for different things. So everything in Hinduism is about symbol. Shiva is a symbol of unmanifestation or destruction. Vishnu is a symbol of preservation. Lakshmi is a symbol or value of wealth. Saraswati is a symbol or value of knowledge. Durga is a symbol or value of power. So all these are therefore symbols. So the deity is really a symbol. Deity is not the god. It is, so just like a flag is not the country, but you don't desecrate a flag. You don't stomp on it or set fire to it. It's only a piece of cloth. No, what it represents. So a deity, what it represents is really a symbol. So the British said, no, Hindus think that's God. No, that's not it. We think that because human beings get distracted, we need something to focus on. If I see a flag, I somehow the patriotic feelings come. If I see the deity of my choice, somehow my devotional emotions from there, you have your colleagues. But he'll let you listen to it later.
Yes.
So, go ahead. If you have any questions at this point, I take a break and ask some questions of what I've told you so.
I was enjoying what you were.
Okay, this temple, does it represent a temple in India?
No. Every temple has got a primary deity. Every temple has got one primary deity and may or may not have multiple other deities. This temple, primary deity is Lord Ganesha, who is an elephant-faced, the human body. Like, remember I told you God is limitless, He can appear in any form. This particular sage envisioned the Lord in this form. And there are stories behind it, how did he get there are multiple, at least two popular stories about how we got the elephant face. But let's not get into that stuff, because it's after all symbolism. But the main symbolism of Lord Ganesha is remover of obstacles. So his symbolism is I remove the obstacle. Which is the biggest obstacle for us to move forward is our mind. So he steadies our mind. So his vehicle is, if he is like an elephant faced and big, guess what? His vehicle is a mouse. He'll stomp on, if he gets on it, the mouse will die, right? But that itself says that no, all this is symbolism. Why a mouse? Mouse is like a mind, and he controls it and steadies it. So by removing the obstacle called an uncontrolled mind, you can focus on what you're doing. So Lord Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. For us, it's appropriate we have Lord Ganesha because when Hindu immigrants are coming to this country, they wouldn't even let us build a temple here against building a temple. Protests in the street by the local residents, etc. So obstacles. The immigrants face a lot more obstacles because of. I mean, you're African American. Just because of your color, you're facing a lot of obstacles. Just because of the way you look, you face obstacles. The moment you go to a place where you look different from the others. But even after all these years in America, I go back to India and everybody looks like me. So you don't have to open your mouth. You look like, hey, I belong here. Whereas here, if I have to practice, in India I wake up all around this. You hear the temple bell. Although it's a secular country, there are a lot of Muslims. You hear the mosques bells also. You hear the churches. Everything. It's a secular country. But majority, 83% is Hindus. So Hinduism is all around you. The children running, the clothes they wear, they have in front of the house, they have decorative designs in front of the house. Every morning women folk that says this is auspicious. This house belongs to the Lord. I'm just temporarily residing it, and therefore I will make it fit for the Lord. Clean it up every day. And then the food that we prepare every morning, we offer to the deity first a little bit, and then get it blessed, and then only we eat. So this is what you're supposed to. Not everyone does it, but my wife does it. I do, but not probably 95% do not do all the time. At least sometimes they do, majority. So all the aspects of religion that says that you must respect the divine, you must accept the divinity in Alex, the divinity in Ortiz, the divinity in Shubho or Mohan. We must accept that we have divinity in all of us. So therefore, I am going to put all the religious practices in day-to-day life, in my interaction, in the words, in the way. I'm never going to say elders, people who are elder to me just by their name. It is either an uncle or a Sri or Mr., you always respect is added. So culture says, in our culture, in our words, in our dress, Indian dresses do not show shoulders and knees. Okay, so Indian women do not show their shoulders and knees. Same thing in other Asian countries as well, whether it's Korea, whether it is, I'm talking about ancient, not now.
Yeah.
See, now it's different in India, Korea, I don't know about China. I've been to China, but not to Korea yet. I should get there on this. I've traveled all over the world, but Korea, South Korea, I've not done. But anyway, so we believed, Hinduism believes that religion cannot survive if you say that on Friday you have to do this, and 3 times a day you have to think about Lord. Hinduism believes that all the practices should be built into your eating, in the way you dress, the way you sing, the dance. Everything has to be built into whatever the human activity, interaction. Then we have a better chance of the religion surviving as it is. And that is why I believe, as opposed to the Mayan civilization or even the Native American civilization, which are not practiced as much. There's still 1.1 billion, 1.2 billion Hindus in the world. Because the practice of building it into interaction, human interaction, and daily. We don't eat. We're not supposed to eat unless we have a shower every day. We don't. I don't. I get up in the morning, brush my teeth, take my shower, then only then. I do not do it. And my kids, even though they are born here, they don't. For a long time. I don't know what they do now, but they know how children. I have grandchildren now. So, by the way, I'm 65 years old.
You were a busy man in your youth, huh?
In my life, I forgot to tell you so that you have background. I was the chief financial officer of a very large multinational consulting firm. We grew from like a $50 million firm to $5 billion.
Wow.
Over my period, so I retired at the age of 50. I became a full-time volunteer and a trustee of this temple. And I travel the world and do work here, and then enjoy my grandchildren.
You really
Came back. I'm jet lagged because I was in Europe for 3 weeks. Italy, Greece, and Turkey, a week each. Wow, going around and seeing, and then came back that night. So this is slightly different.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Anyway, so go ahead. Now, if you have any questions.
Well, so a question about you. How many languages do you speak?
5.
Which languages?
Sanskrit, Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, and English. Plus, know enough to be dangerous in a couple of other languages.
Any question, Alex?
You have to listen to this because the British have taught wrong things about. By the way, you never asked about caste system and do we pray to cows, etc. Fun questions.
Do you guys?
Huh?
Like, how do you guys?
Caste system? You don't know what a caste system?
No, could
You
you
know what a
explain?
caste system is?
It's the
Sacrificing?
No, caste is you're born a lower caste or upper caste.
It's a hierarchy.
Hierarchy of just because does the religion enjoin or espouse that? No. Religion says, in our scriptures it says, all triguna, it's called. Guna means quality. All human beings have 3 qualities embedded, enmeshed in them. The quality of divinity, divine qualities. Sattvic is called. Sattvic means Sat means truth. Truth means divine. The only truth in the world according to Hinduism is divine. Everything else is illusion. So, Sattvic. Then you have Rajasic. Rajasic means action-oriented. And then you have Tamasic, that means do enough to get by, sleep, lazy. All these 3 qualities in different proportions are mixed. Even for a predominantly Sattvic or a good quality, divine quality, even he or she has got the 2 other action-oriented or lazy qualities. So by birth, by their own, not which family, each one is born with a different set. That's why you see some people are excellent athletes, and some people are excellent sleeping. Some people are very divine. I mean, their philosophy is unbelievable. Little kid is way ahead. So they say it's all inborn because of that lot of prior births, accumulated karma. So they are born with innate qualities. So what happens? So if you are born with a lot of sattvic or divine quality, you are going to be a religious teacher or a saint or a sage. If you are born with action-oriented, you're going to be a warrior or a sports person or that type. Or if you are going to be, majority of the people are lazy, do enough to get by, so then you are Vishudra. And then there's a mixture of all, somebody needs to be a business, a combination of action-oriented and laziness. That's the business called Vaishya. So there are 4 castes. The scriptures say it's all through qualities that are in you. And based on the qualities that are in you, you do the job consistent with your quality. So you take a warrior takes up a warrior's job. Unfortunately, if my dad owns a business, he's not going to give it to somebody else. He's going to give it to me, whether I'm a Vaishya quality, I have the business quality or not. The Brahmin, who's a sattvic, who's a divine person, is going to teach the scriptures to only his son or daughter. The warrior is going to teach his skills to his son or daughter. The businessman is going to give the the business to his son or daughter. And the poor schmo sitting there trying to make ends meet, can't get out of the rut, and his son is taught the same low-paying job skills. So what happened is these qualities became driven by where you're born. I contend, our Hindus contend that caste system exists in every society, except in some cases it's through wealth.
Yeah.
The 2 classes or 3 classes, rich, medium, poor. So caste, class, all same. But what the British Hindus themselves, by following the caste system through family, have created a problem for us. However, nowadays it's all changing. Now it's now to the point that 68.2, I don't know where they got the number, 68.2% of the government jobs are reserved for lower caste people, whether they're qualified or not. So that type of
like affirmative action.
Affirmative action, but it is almost ridiculous. Because people can't speak or read, and they'll be sitting like government officers. So now, so those things are being corrected. So the pendulum swung too far. Now it's coming into the middle. So each society has the biggest problem with the Hindus is they are accepting. A cow will be passing by, a street dog will be next to you. I accept it's part of creation. They don't shoo it away. They say, okay, here I see. The kids will be playing with the street dogs or chasing them or doing something. There will be dirt here, there will be flowers here. Everything is part of acceptance. Cleanliness, and particularly in the urban area, cleanliness is becoming less and less and less. Until the government, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's terribly bad. Absolutely. Terribly, terribly bad. So all this stuff they are coping. That's probably because they are. Oh, maybe that's part of nature, part of this. Not, but everything is accepted. Everything is accepted. So accepting nature, not judging. Even you carry it too far, then it becomes adharma. Dharma means righteous. Adharma is not righteous, unrighteous. So all these problems are there. So in the day-to-day life, the problems that we are faced, that are faced because the standards that were given in addressing each other, interacting with each other, the roles of the dad, the mom, etc., are all slowly changing. Mom is supposed to do certain things, dad is supposed to do certain things, but mom's also out working now. Cannot be the primary homemaker, you know what I mean. So all this stuff is changing, children are changing. And that, according to Hinduism, is also inevitable because it's a cycle. When it becomes really unmanageable, dharma completely goes, the Lord takes the whole thing back and purifies it and comes out again. It's a cycle, creation for creation. Okay, whenever you're ready, we can go upstairs, but in the meantime, I'll ask you questions.
Yeah, well, just a few, like, questions about the actually, before that, let me ask you
I'm done with my,
huh?
I'm done with my presentation.
Okay.
Now it's all question specific.
Slightly philosophical, but, are there any changes that the British made, or any changes from the British time that happened in Hinduism that stuck around, that's still there?
Yeah, because the dress, the way people dress. In the past, men wore only barely just gandhi, just like a loincloth, because according to Hinduism, it's the job of a male to serve the Lord through rituals. And how do you, when you serve the Lord, you dress because you humble yourself. What gives our ego our mind? Ego, by the way, ego is also a big problem. So the ego, what gives you most ego? My beautiful hair, my clothes, Armani suit I wear, etc., etc. So you strip out everything and just wear minimum, men wear minimum clothes and serve the Lord. So the British says, you know, you must wear a tie or a suit or this. So variations of British clothing. That stuck around. For good or bad. I'm not saying it's bad. The British gave us how to dress. The sari never went away.
Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. But the influence of the Muslim, the kurta, there's like a paploom, and then there's a big shirt. It's called, I don't know what's called. Kurti, you know. Kurta, pajama.
Yeah,
Pajama.
Oh, no, well, they adopted pajama to pajama. They have.
Yeah. So therefore, the Muslims gave certain form, particularly in North India, they gave a particular form of dress. The British gave because of how to, you know, their version of how to dress for different occasions. So that stuck around. So when that stuck around, ego becomes an important aspect. All of a sudden, how you dress well, etc., etc. That has less divinity. It's like a balance. You put more into materialistic things, the spiritual thing goes down. If you put more spiritual, the materialistic thing goes down. So it's a balance. So I would say the influence of the British definitely increased the material acquisition, the importance of material acquisition.
All right, I have a question. I seen something some years ago. It was saying that Hindu temples were modeled after the Vimanas from the story. Is that true?
Hindu temples what?
Well, modeled after the Vimanas from, I forgot the name of the story.
Viman, I understand, but
Yeah.
modeled after the what?
That they were modeled after the Vimanas.
Like the temples.
The dome.
The
Dome,
temples
yeah.
were modeled after the Vimanas from Ramayana.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the true story of the temple. The temple, Gopura, it's called Gopura. Gopura is Sanskrit word, means tower. Temple is supposed to be the tallest building because the Lord, nobody can do off the Lord. It should be the tallest building in the village. Two reasons. One, it has to be because it's the Lord's home, should be the biggest and tallest. Now Citibank is the tallest. But anyway, because as soon as you wake up, even a disabled, the older person, disabled person, looks through the window or comes out through the front door, can see the temple from in the village. So that is why it has to be the tallest village. So that's why the Gopuram is done as the tallest. Okay? It's modeled, it is because temples exist. Ramayana is just one aspect. Each of the temple tower is done according to what is called Agama Shastra. Shastra means rules. Agama means old. Shastra means these were written like again 7,000-8,000 years ago. How the deities should be, which direction should be, how they should be prepared, if it is a Ganesha temple, this deity should be done this way. If it is Vishnu, it should be done that way. So it's really not just Rama. Rama is just Vishnu's incarnation. Shiva temple should be done this way. So there is all the Hindu temples are modeled after what is written in Agama Shastra. Vimana is just one aspect of it. Vimana means plane.
Yeah.
Like an airplane.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Elephanta caves in Alphabet Coast in Mumbai?
Yes.
There's the mandirs that are
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
Because that's
Those
what
are a lot more modern. Yeah.
Are they? Because I heard like it's really dark, so I heard like that's what like back in the day like Aarti started because it was so dark in the temple that they used the light to see the gods.
Beautiful. That is also philosophy. I just told a few minutes ago, I said truth is only divine, everything else is illusion. So even today, a lot of mandirs, temples, there's no electricity inside the main place where the deity is, it's dark. And through the light, show the light lamp, wick, if you will. They do the same. Through your knowledge of light, you see the truth. That is what symbolism of the light is. They deliberately keep it dark without electricity to show that here is the divine, hard for you to see the truth until you shed all your ego, control your mind, shed your mind and do this knowledge of light. Knowledge is light. So that's what the philosophy article about. Symbolism makes sense beyond that. For example, rituals we give flowers. Family comes, gives a fruit or a flower, all natural things. Fruit, flowers, sometimes prepared food. Very soon we prepare food. When we all offer to the Lord, the priest blesses it and then gives it back to the family for them to partake, to eat. There is no group salvation, although there may be people praying together, because each individual is in a different state of revelation in according to that. So the priest actually introduces each one by the lineage, by the star in which they were born, and say, this person is here. Okay? So everything is individualistic. Go ahead, you had any other question?
Oh, I'm still thinking. This is good.
Well, upstairs, while you're thinking upstairs, the deities are the huge kind of granite deities, and then there are smaller deities of the same Lord deity, at least one smaller deity, plus other smaller deities. Okay? For the main deities, and then there's always a smaller deity, because during festival days, we dress up the deity and take them out. Literally take them out on the streets and go around. And that also comes from the ancient practices, because old people and disabled people can't come to the temple. So we take the deity out through the streets so that they can get a glimpse of the deity.
This question. This is just simply based on the temple. So what's like the beginning of the day for the temple? Like what happens?
Very first thing is beginning of the day. Let's understand how the day ends is because the last act. Unfortunately, the last act is set the alarm up so that people don't. But that's not the normal practice. They give the keys to the temple. There's a particular deity is the guard. We put the keys in front of that deity, one particular deity. So that's so when the priest comes, only the priest can come and open the temple. Only the priest can enter the main sanctum of each one of the deities. They open with each priest. There are 11 priests in here. They take turns in coming early at 7:30. They go in, they chant a mantra, and then they go in, and then they open up each and every one of those. You will see the sanctums. Each one of them they open up, and then they go, and all the priests will then start to bathe the deities. Okay, bathe. Just like we take a shower, bathe the deities. Put fresh flowers on. Flowers are big deal, garlands on them, so that the deity is now ready for people to come and see. So they are there before 7:30. 7:30 is the opening time. They spend about a half an hour getting the deities ready. At a minimum, let's say shower them, at least they sprinkle water on each one of them, symbolically saying they're taking shower.
Okay. And what happens? Like, what's the next?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
Monday, particular deity. Tuesday. Each week of the day, each day of the week, a particular deity is given importance.
Okay.
But all the deities are given equal importance every day, but one deity is given extra importance. The main deity of the temple, Ganesha, is given importance every day of the week, every day of the week.
The first prayer, it's like, well, at least during rituals, is the first prayer. But is there? I know some mandirs or some temples for like in the afternoon they close. Or not,
We don't.
Okay.
Because the reason that people close is there are certain times of the day are not as auspicious as the other times of the day, according to our Shastra. But our temple, in India, most temples close between 12 noon and 5 p.m. Right? But here, they can't afford to because people come all the time. They're always open. It's This is beyond just a place of worship, it's also a place for people to get together and as a community.
And do you guys do like weddings or anything like that here?
We have a wedding hall,
Okay.
seats 400 people. My son got married, my daughter got married.
Any upcoming festivals?
Every day. That's the next major festival, believe it or not, is the temple inauguration, which is on July 4th.
Oh, wow.
So July 4th is a big deal for us. That's the day the temple was inaugurated
Oh,
in
okay.
1977. So July 4th is the next big one. We just, day before yesterday we finished the 10-day festival of Lord Vishnu.
So we just missed the festival.
We wouldn't have been able to do this if it was festival time. We'd be dancing.
A lot of singing and a lot of food and a lot of
Do you guys do Satyanarayana Puja every month?
every Satyanarayana Puja is done on New Moon Day every month, every 28 days.
Oh, my mom does it every month.
Every month is actually 28 days.
Yeah.
To coincide with the new moon.
Yeah, with the calendar.
Yeah.
Our teacher, our professor, was trying to get us to come here when y'all was serving food. He said that Indian food is good.
There's a cafeteria we have. So it is written up in New York Times and other papers several times as the best South Indian food in the tri-state area.
Wow.
For the value of money. Money you pay. They have a cafeteria.
Okay.
It's open from 8 in the morning till 9 at night.
Okay.
Every day,
Do
7
some
days.
people come here just to eat?
I'm an atheist too. Who love South Indian food.
Wow.
Masala dosa and sambar.
I was gonna get some.
I might try some.
Okay, so let's go upstairs. We go